So Walter, Trump has been offered a $400 million 747 by the Qataris. And the thing looks sick. I have to say, the pictures online make it look like spectacular. I mean, it's so wide. I'm like, can this thing fly? The living room, and it looks like something out of a skyscraper living room, which I guess this is the ultimate skyscraper. Yeah, here are some of the pictures. Trump went and took a look at this jet, and it was to his liking, apparently, and says, I'd love it. Now, at first, that does sound terrible, that our president will be taking a $400 million gift from the Qataris, because there is something under the Constitution called the Emoluments Clause, and we're not allowed, any official in a position of public trust is not allowed to take a gift. They're not allowed to. But Pam Bondi has said he can get around that because this isn't a gift to Trump. It's a gift to our Pentagon. And then when the refurbished Air Force Ones that Boeing has been working on for 10 years are finally done 10 years from now, this Qatari plane will be gifted to the Trump Presidential Library. So it's not a gift. And an emolument, that's when you perform a service for a fee. Sure. Pam Bondi's saying that's not this, because he's not performing any service for the Qataris. This is a gift. So, and it's not to a person. Anyway, this is going to be a fight legally. Someone's going to file lawsuits. And the Qataris are saying it's not yet settled. Both sides' legal departments are looking into whether this can fly, so to speak. But Trump's bitching about it, and today was like pissed because he's like, they're offering a $400 million expense that we would otherwise have to pay. Air Force One is a mess. We have 2 planes that are Air Force One. In my first term, I went to Boeing and said, here are billions of dollars for you to fix these planes, which are 40 years old, Trump says. And not only does Trump win again multiple years later, and they're still not done, but again, they are projected to be done no sooner than 2035, which would be 20 years after Trump contracted with Boeing to redo them. Here is a little bit of Trump explaining it today in SOT 5.
And I think this was just a gesture of good faith. And I don't get it. Someday it'll be like Ronald Reagan. They decommission them. You know, they get to a certain age, they decommission them. It'll go to my library. They're talking about going to my library in years out. But I thought it was a great gesture. And it's something that was done by Ronald Reagan. They actually decommissioned the plane and he put it in his library. And it actually has made the library, I think, a Boeing 707. It's actually made the library more successful. So it was good.
Do you plan to use the plane after you leave office?
No, I don't. No, it would go directly to the library after I leave office. I wouldn't be using.
Now, that's an important addendum that we didn't know yesterday, that he doesn't plan on using it for personal use after he leaves office, which does support the argument that it's a gift to America, not to Trump, per Pam Bondi's logic. And I'll just give you one more, Walter. Here's Trump trying to explain how stupid his critics are on this particular issue, SOT 5B.
I could say, no, don't give us, I want to pay you $1 billion or 400 million or whatever it is. Or I could say, thank you very much. You know, there was an old golfer named Sam Snead. Did you ever hear of him? He won 82 tournaments. He was a great golfer. And he had a motto: when they give you a putt, you say, thank you very much. You pick up your ball and you walk to the next hole. A lot of people are stupid. They say, no, I insist on putting it. Then they putt it and they miss it. And their partner gets angry at them. You know what? Remember that, Sam Snead. When they give you a putt, you pick it up and you walk to the next hole and you say, thank you very much.
So what do you make of it? Because I should say, one other thing. I should say a lot of conservative blowback against the president, even from non-Trump derangement syndrome people, saying this is not good. We should not be taking gifts from the Qataris, who are not the best people.
Do they not yet know how Trump works? Have they not yet cracked his algorithm? Every week, every few days, in case we run out of outrages, Trump does something that I call throw the media a chew toy. This is a chew toy. It allows them to sit by the fire and bite, lick, slobber at some non-issue, which causes total distraction while he does something like end a war. Now, we'll be talking about this Qatari plane all week, I can tell you. And by the end of the week, we'll find out that the Ukraine-Russia war ended or something while we were on our, slobbering over our chew toy. But so in a way, it doesn't matter the specifics because they're always outrageous. To be a chew toy, it has to sort of be borderline bad taste. And is it legal? And is it constitutional? And in some ways, it has to be gauche, too, because it's Donald Trump, right? I mean, the plane has to be over the top. People will be looking at, oh, my Lord, solid gold toilet paper holders. Yeah. First of all, he's going to guarantee more attendance at his library if he gets that thing parked and back than any other president in history. He may also not have to build a whole wing on it. People will it's a 747. People will just use that could be the library.
It could be the library.
But it gets us talking about issues that, in a weird way, in the same way, remember how he did an AI or somebody did of him dressed as the Pope a week before we got an American Pope? And it got us talking about the Pope and thinking about it in all sorts of ways. And just because that was the chew toy that week, was that AI of the Pope. And then it gets us ready for the main course. Now, Qatar, whose name I can never pronounce.
I know, no one can.
It's going to be in the news and part of a lot of negotiations probably coming up. It's for better or for worse, a power player in the Middle East and in the United States. And suddenly we know who it is. We know what Qatar is. Most Americans without this plane they still can't place it on a map and they still can't pronounce it. Look at me. But at least they're aware it exists. Yeah, and they're aware it exists suddenly. How interesting is that, Megyn?
Yeah.
I'll make a prediction. 2 weeks from now, for reasons other than the plane, Qatar will be in the news, but Americans will already recognize that they're talking about a country when they hear that.
Well, we'll see whether anybody actually tries to sue to stop it. I don't know. My main concern would be, can we please make sure that there are absolutely no listening devices or other things left on board that plane? Because this is our president, our national security officials in the air. We definitely don't trust Qatar. I mean, definitely do not. We cannot.
And Megyn, that's what I first thought, too. What he's really doing is he's trolling Boeing. You can't finish your damn planes. And he just trolled Boeing in the past. You can't get your astronauts down off your space stations. Why do we have to keep bailing you out? This is really aimed at Boeing.
There should be a massive class action lawsuit against Boeing by the United States people, by the American people, for all the money we've given them to get what? Nothing, according to Trump, and nothing for another 10 years on top of it. This is actually an epic fail. You get tasked by the federal government to refurbish 2 existing planes, and you still can't do it. I mean, it's absolutely disgusting. They're apparently way over budget and way behind the deadline. What a shock. This July, there's a global summit of BRICS nations in Rio de Janeiro. The bloc of emerging superpowers, or so they hope to be, including China, Russia, India, and Iran, are meeting with the goal of displacing the U.S. dollar as the global currency. They're calling it the Rio Reset. As BRICS nations push forward with their plans, some worry global demand for U.S. dollars could decrease, bringing down the value of those dollars that are in your savings. While this transition, if it happens, will not happen overnight, the Rio Reset could mark a pivotal moment. So learn if diversifying your savings into gold is right for you. Birch Gold Group can help you move your hard-earned savings into a tax-sheltered IRA in precious metals. Claim your free info kit on gold by texting MK to 989898. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and tens of thousands of happy customers, let Birch Gold arm you with a free, no-obligation info kit on owning gold before July and the Rio Reset. Text MK to 989898 today. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.